Good morning. Welcome to Ray's Corner. Just want to share with you this morning, a few codes that we need to start living by. You know, Good morning. Say good morning. Building a powerful black interculture of counter racism. A lot of times church don't want to deal with that. Racism, white supremacy. But we'll just talk about it for a second. But just had a passing away of Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, and she gave us some codes that we might want to start living by. And I just want to take time this morning and read this to you. I think you determine if that's something that you want to start patterning your life behind, that we can become one, So, the counter racism and white supremacy behavior code to build self and group respect and black mental health, So here we go. Let me start reading off these things to you that we might want to use, that we can start unifying ourselves and, So here we go. Stop name calling one another. Stop gossiping about one another. Stop squabbling with one another. Stop snitching on one another, informing on one another for reasons of personal gain. Stop cursing one another. Stop being discourteous to one another. Stop being disrespectful to one another. Stop stealing from one another. Stop robbing from one another. Stop fighting one another. Stop killing one another. Stop throwing down trash where black people live, work, and play. Stop making dirt and filth the norm. Stop using and selling drugs to one another. Stop black children from thinking that as children they can be adequate mothers and fathers. Stop believing that welfare will save you. Start believing in prosperity. Stop pretending that racism, white supremacy does not exist. Stop being divided and conquered. Stop allowing black, brown, red, and yellow people being divided by white supremacy. Wow. If we take a look at that for each other, right? And just take some things and start working on ourselves. This whole thing is, when you want to come into group economics and when you come into, a oneness and unity and stuff don't start until you start working on yourself, until I start working on myself, until I start doing certain things that comes up against you, that makes you feel bad. A lot of times we make other people feel bad in areas because we feel bad in them areas, and we try to be superior to those people. But we need to not look outside of ourselves, not look outside of our culture, not look outside of our community, but we got to look inside of ourselves, look inside of our culture, look inside of our own community, and start improving on the things that we need to improve on. And the first thing we start is just by improving on ourselves. Certain things I said, the first thing, stop name calling each other, stop talking about each other, stop gossiping about each other, stop having these petty quarrels against each other, Stop, we go and tell on each other just because we can make a personal gain, Stop cussing each other out. Stop discouraging each other when someone is trying to get up out of the hole that they're in, and we just want to pull them down like crabs in a barrel. We want to discourage them. They have an idea. Just because it's not our idea don't mean that it won't work for them. I'm telling you. Stop stealing from one another. How are we supposed to get better if we keep taking from each other? We keep robbing from each other. In this Atlanta area, I haven't seen so many home invasions in my life, Just running up, taking people's stuff. Come on. Now, I got to tell you, I lived that life. I robbed and I steal and I took from people. And that wasn't a good life. That wasn't right. Been far removed from that, but that's some of the things that I work on today. Stop fighting one another. The fight ain't against us. When you go on the spiritual side, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, with things unseen. So my issue is never with you. Your issue is never with me. There's spiritual forces that influence our minds and makes us say and do things, that we normally wouldn't do. So I don't have an issue with you. When you talk about wrestling, we don't wrestle with flesh and blood. We don't try to take each other down. Are y'all with me? So we're just gonna, let's build on ourselves. And as we build on ourselves, we can help build on others, and we can build on our community, and we can build our culture up to the greatness that you are, to the greatness that we are. And we all can make it. We got to be unified. But unity starts with working on ourselves first. So I'm just saying, share this. I'm gonna put this on Facebook. It's going to be on Ray's Corner on YouTube. Take time, take some notes, write these things down. It's not about hating white people. It's not about that. It's not about none of that stuff. It's about improving ourselves. It's about making ourselves better. It's about working together, tapping into this $1.3 trillion that we generate yearly, that we put in our hands and we just give it away. We got to stop giving stuff away. The background music tell you, I made it through. We made it through some hard times and good times. I use this song again because we can make it through our situation. We can make it through the name calling. Someone called you something, but we can make it through it, and we can forgive each other, and we can move forward. Somebody said something about us. We can make it through that gospel, because moving forward, we're no longer going. We understand the trick of the enemy. We understand what the enemy is trying to do. See, first of all, you got to know who your enemy is, and I'm not your enemy, and you're not my enemy. And we got to, all this snitching and cussing and all. It's got to. It's got to end within ourselves first. You know what I'm saying? And when we talk about, I always hear this, we talk about Black lives and there's another part, we got to stop killing each other. We got to stop talking about each other. We got to stop stealing from each other. And as we do that, then we become unified. Then we can deal with the outside issues that's trying to come into our community, trying to come into our life. I mean, we can make it. We got to think about some of the stuff that we went through. I mean, if I really gave you my story, if you told your story, your true story, so why can't we get over because somebody says something about it? Do we have to, do unto others as you want them to do unto you? I don't want nobody to talk about me. I don't want nobody to cuss. I don't want to cuss nobody. I don't want nobody to cuss me out. I don't want nobody to be squabbling with me. I don't want people to discourage me. I don't want people to disrespect me. I don't want people to rob from me. I don't want people to steal from me. So if I don't want those things to happen to me, I can't do them to other people. And if you don't want them things to happen to you, you can't do them to other people. It don't matter what people do to us. The only thing that matters is how we respond, that we respond like men and women of God. Whoever you think your God is, I know who my God is. We're going to put that on the side, but I'm just going to tell you, we got to come one. And all of us are not going to get on the same page. You're going to have, there's going to be a remnant out there that just going to do what they want to do. You can't worry about them. But there's a remnant that's going to take what you're listening to right now, and we're going to unify, and we're going to become a force. Everybody's not going to be on board. If you're walking down the street, if you're a king and you believe that, and you're a king's kid, so when, there are no ghettos where you live. Because you raise up the standard. If you're there, there's no longer a ghetto. You raise up the standard to make it a kingdom. So, let's make dirt and filth not the norm, because let's eliminate this word called ghetto. Because if you live there and I live there, it's no longer a ghetto. It's where kings and queens and princes and princesses and princes live. It's where royalty live. And if royalty lives, royalty don't live in a ghetto. So let's take that. We allow them to label where we live as a certain place. Well, if we're there, it's not what they say it is, because we're there and we make a difference. So this is Ray's Corner. So glad I made it again. I made it this morning. Made it through some stuff. Luke Mind Nations tomorrow at 3:30. Go on the website. Look up Luke Mind Nations. Get the number. Call in. Support Luke Mind Nation. Call in. Talk about some stuff. Share this. Share this with your friends. Let's just let this thing go, as they say, go viral. Because we have to understand that there's certain things, certain behavior. This is a behavior code that we talked about. A behavior code that Dr. Wilson talks about, Nellie Fuller Jr. talks about it ain't so much about other things, but it's about you. It's about me. It's about how do we respond to things. We talk about problems and how do we have to have answers to the problems, and we're the solution to the problem. We're the solution makers. How do we respond to things? It's not about name calling people. It's not about, it's not about hating white folk. None of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's about us working on us, making us better, and watch what happens. And we'll make it through these times. Really, when you look at it, we say hard times, but we don't really know what hard times is, because everything, our life is just making it through stuff. No matter how hard it looks in people's lives and stuff, we make it through. Thank God leads us through tough times, through hard times, and we become, watch this, if you really think about it, we become immune to hard times, because that's like a norm. So let's go through hard times to make good times, to make better times, that our kids can have a better future. Amen. It's Ray, Apostle Ray, Ray's Corner. Look My Nation tomorrow, 3:30. Look it up. Call in. Share your thoughts. So glad you made it. Share this. Go on YouTube. I'm on YouTube now, Ray's Corner. Just go under YouTube, Ray's Corner for YouTube. Share this to all the people out there. Ray's Corner. Love you. Look My Nation tomorrow, 3:30. Peace out. Camden, New Jersey's in the house. Holla.